It's been a couple days since the Pi network launched its mainnet, and honestly, the results have been very surprising. The price movement is looking way better than anyone expected. I'm going to break down why it looks like that, and even bigger news is that US citizens can finally send their Pi to Pionex exchange to sell it, because previously only overseas exchanges were allowing deposits and sales, and now Pionex as of today has enabled this, so you can go ahead and sell your Pi if you want to. Bigger news for me is that I would like to get some Pi on Pionex and set up an AI trading bot. If you've been a fan of this channel for a long time, you know that I have a lot of AI trading bot videos. I'll link a couple of them up here right now, but I want to try this out with Pi while it's in this volatile phase, because as you know, grid trading bots love volatility, and that's where we make our money. So let's take a look at a few things, and then I'm going to buy some Pi and set up a trading bot. Today's video is sponsored by Crypto Miner Bros, a reliable and highly trusted ASIC miner reseller. There are a couple huge benefits to buying from Crypto Miner Bros. The first is that the price on their website is the all-in price shipped to your door, no hidden fees. The second is that they have a massive selection of all the popular miners. My current favorite miner is the DG Home 1, which I got from Crypto Miner Bros. Don't forget to use code MODERN for $70 off each item regardless of price. Purchasing ASIC miners can be risky with tons of scams going around. Why not make it easy with Crypto Miner Bros? Check them out today with the link down below. So if you guys are late to the party, I did do a video on the mainnet release of Pi earlier this week, and Pionex did enable it on February 20th to buy and sell, but you couldn't deposit it from your app. And so a lot of people kind of hated on that last video, saying that Pi is a scam. And don't get me wrong, I don't know for certain if it is or isn't. But the way I look at it is it's basically more profitable than GPU mining right now to hit a button on your phone. And even if it's a scam, if it's collecting your data or something, all kinds of shit is already doing that these days. So honestly, that's not that big of a deal to me personally. Maybe it is more to you, but if they're going to be using my data, you might as well get paid for it. So the crazy thing about the launch is a lot of people kind of expected the price to start at a certain point and then just tank, because after all of these people have just been hitting this button on their phone for the last few years, getting all this Pi but not being able to sell it. So once you can finally sell it, my thought would be a lot of people are going to dump it onto the market. And if you look at the 1 month chart, that did happen. So it started at 184 and went all the way down to 65 cents. So dropped basically 66% of its value in a day, which was not a good look for the project. But then it immediately has started to kind of bounce back here to the point where now it's at $1.58, which is crazy, because as I've mentioned, there's people in my Discord who have like thousands and thousands of this coin. And if you don't even know what I'm talking about here, I will leave a link to my intro on how to mine Pi down below. It's super easy. You just download the phone app, use my code ModernMining. It benefits both of us. We both get extra Pi from using that code, so definitely do it. And then it's as easy as just logging onto the app every single day and hitting the mine button every 24 hours. It's literally that simple, and you can start to generate cryptocurrency from your phone. So that's pretty cool. So one reason I think the price may be holding up pretty well is that the app has a lock coins feature where you get more daily mining rewards if you lock up your coins for a month or a year or even multiple years. And I think a lot of people have probably locked up their coins, which could be why we're not seeing such a sharp sell-off. But also, as of today, US citizens could not sell their Pi because there was no exchanges until Pionex listed the deposits today. So I was really thinking that we'd start to see this price drop even more today, and it hasn't. It's been sitting at about 160 all day long, even though people are starting to deposit and sell onto the Pionex platform. So that's pretty interesting and shows that it is a pretty robust project for it to not have dropped more than it has. So today is February 24th, and you can see as of 2 hours ago, everybody got notifications that Pi deposits are live. So I would deposit my Pi from my app, but I just got into the Pi project. You have to be mining for 30 days before you can do the KYC. And then at that point, can you transfer to different wallets? So I can't even transfer my Pi to Pionex if I wanted to. Those names are way too similar. So I am just going to buy $500 worth so I can walk you guys through how to build these bots. Now, what kind of got me onto this idea was I saw a couple people on the Pi Network Reddit posting about bots that they had made, and this grabbed my attention because I've been making these bots for a long time. And there's some pretty interesting ones here, and we'll go over their different settings right here. So this one has a price range from like $1 to $5, which is a little wide for me. We probably won't make ours that wide, but there's a lot of people in the comments who are kind of confused on how these work, which is why I wanted to make this video. So you can see this guy I'm not seeing the benefit here. You've gained 8.4% in dollar amount by trading. That's your grid profit. But while the price of Pi rose 10%. And so that's true. And that is the downside of these bots, is that if the coin goes straight up, you're selling along the way and you're going to make less money than if you just held the coin. But these bots are mainly meant to capitalize on volatility where you're seeing market swings. So to counteract this guy's point, if that coin dropped back to 10%, then the bot owner is sitting at exact amount of coin he had before, but he has 8.4% in releasable profit that he wouldn't have had without the bot. So the bot profit that it's generating is releasable USDT that you can cash out. And if the coin comes back down to its price, then you're basically no different than where you were, besides you got all this extra USDT out of it, this is exactly why I hold both my Bitcoin and my Ethereum in trading bots. So I'm just getting a free APY off them. And those bots specifically are around 10%, which is pretty good for two big boys in the crypto sphere, Bitcoin and Ethereum. All right, so let's go ahead and make this bot. First, I actually need to buy some Pi on Pionex. And to do that, I need about $500 is what I'm going to make the bot with. I don't have $500 of liquid cash in here, but I do have $1,300 that are staked in USDT. So I'm just going to go ahead and release the rewards here, which was about $3. So I'll do that. And then I'm going to redeem, and I can select how much I want to withdraw, and I'm just going to withdraw this 1,000 right here. And that's the great thing about Pionex, is that this is going to be released absolutely immediately, and I can start using this right away. One downside is this APR used to be like 10%, and now it's only 4%. But honestly, 10% is not really that sustainable, so 4% is a lot probably of a more realistic value. Okay, so now if you go to the trade, spot trading, you can actually buy what coin you want. I want to set this to Pi USDT, and it's actually the first one on here, which is pretty nice. And you can see my available balance is all $1,000 I just released. Now, another great thing about Pionex, and they are the sponsor of this video, I forgot to mention that, but you're about to see why they've been a sponsor of the channel for a long time, and I actually really like them, and it's the only exchange I use at this point because of how low their fees are. So I'm going to do a market buy of 500 USDT, and that should give us 315 Pi. And you can see the transaction fee right here is going to be 0.315 Pi, which is literally less than $1 for a $500 order. Go to Coinbase and try to do a $500 order. You're going to be paying at least $30 in fees. So let's go ahead and hit buy right here. I have 315 Pi now, and I bought at 158.66. So hopefully we don't see a massive crash now that deposits are enabled in the US. But I don't really expect that to happen with how the price has looked recently. So from here, we need to go to make our bot. So if we go to trade and then trading bot, you can go into here and do, I like the grid trading bot, but I have seen some people use the martingale bot and make some crazy profits. I'm not going to do that today, but it is something I do want to explore. So from here, we'll go to the grid trading bot. We'll hit create. And the great thing about Pionex is that there's all these bots up here at the top that you can actually copy and copy someone else's strategy if you don't want to mess with the exact settings. I'm going to set one up myself, and you guys can copy this or just watch to get kind of an idea of what these settings actually mean. So the limits here, the upper limit and the lower limit, is the range within the bot is going to trade in. So with the price of Pi being at $1.6 right now, I want to have a decent amount of room on either side. So if the price of the coin swings a decent amount either way, it's still within our range trading, because if it goes outside the range, we're not going to be trading anymore. And if it drops below our lower range, we're going to be 100% in the coin. And if it goes above our upper range, we're going to be 100% in cash, because as the coin goes up, we sell, and as the coin goes down, we buy. And that's just what the bot does. It does that all day long. So let's put this at let's do maybe 60 cents, which is about the low that it hit on the first day release. So I could potentially see it going back there eventually. And then for the upper bound, let's do maybe $3, and let's see how much this is going to cost, because depending on how big you make this range, you have to put more money in to be able to actually fund the bot. All right, so the next factor up here is grids, and grids is basically you have your price range. How many trades do you want to make within that price range? So I normally make bots that have a decent amount of grids, and what I look at is just if I put in 100 grids, meaning that there's 100 trade increments between 60 cents and $3, that each trade I make is going to be making at a minimum 0.61% profit, which is pretty dang good. And you can see here with that amount of grids, my minimum total investment is $289. So if I made this range bigger, that minimum investment is going to go up. It went to 313 there. So honestly, I'm just going to use that as my number, and I'll put my investment as $500. And then if we look, we can also compare to what some other people have done. So this is another post I saw on Reddit where they have a very tight range. So 1.2 to 1.7. So very easy for this person's bot to basically get out of this range and no longer be trading. But you can update those settings on the go, which is another thing. But their grids is only 25. So, and their profit per grid is 1%. So somewhat similar to our 0.61%. If we wanted to match that better with our range, we could do like 60 grids, and then we're a little bit over 1%. But let's do just 80 grids for now, and that would be a minimum profit of 0.81% per trade. And let's go ahead and just create this thing. So I'm going to hit create Pi USDT bot, and what it's going to immediately do is buy with my $500. 70% of it will go into Pi, and 30% of it is going to stay in USDT. And that's because if the Pi price falls, we need some cash on hand to be buying as it drops all the way until our lower limit, and that's why it keeps some of the money in cash. So we will go ahead and hit continue here. Our slippage control is set very low, so we're not going to lose a bunch of money on the trade. And we can hit continue. And then our bot was created successfully. So from here, if you go to orders, trading bot orders, you can actually see your different bots. And for people who are new to Pionex bots, let me just show you some of my older bots, and that'll give you a good idea of what you can expect. So here it is right here. You can see your total profit and net loss right here in the middle. We're already down a little bit, and that's just from the price of the coin itself. And then probably the most important thing over here is your arbitrage APY. So this percentage is basically how much money you're making from the grid trading alone. If the coin goes up 100%, that does not calculate into this arbitrage APY because it's only using your trades. So for example, this Bitcoin bot I have down here with $500 worth of Bitcoin, it is making a yearly APY of 50% on my Bitcoin. It's already made $22 in releasable profit off of a $500 investment, and it's only been running for 40 days. So that's pretty dang good. 40% on your Bitcoin is absurd. But notice that the range on that bot is very tight, and that's partially why it's been doing so good, is because Bitcoin has stayed within that range for every day of the last 40 days. But it would be very easy for Bitcoin to leave that range, and then this bot would not be doing as well. Some of my other ones down here, I also have this Caspa bot, which has been getting 21% APY. But right now, Caspa's price is currently below my lower price range. So this bot is actually not even trading right now. And even though the actual profit loss of the bot itself is down, like my total profit loss is minus $500, you can see it would actually be a lot worse if I wasn't in the bot, because we've made 21% APY on the grid trading alone, which has accounted for $118. So we actually would be down $600 if I was just holding the coin. So to show you just a bit more of the bot interface here, I'll do it on my Bitcoin bot so you can actually see. What's pretty cool about this is you can look at the actual transactions and see the list of all the transactions that have been made. So this bot alone has made 365 transactions, which is a lot, but I've done the math, and if you use like Coinly for tax tracking, it's only $10 for 1,000 transactions, which means that basically this bot has already paid for $2,000 worth of transactions, and we're only at 360 transactions. So if you're using a crypto tax software, you can export all these trades super easy with one button. It is going to make your trade list extremely long, but you're still making way more money than the cost of actually having to track all those profits. So that's one question a lot of people have. So that's where you can see the transactions. This is also cool where you can see the orders. So this is basically telling you when your bot is going to make trades. So on the right side here, you have sell price, and on the left side here, you have buy price. And the easy way to look at this is if Bitcoin drops another 0.5%, we're going to be buying a little bit at $94,161. Or if Bitcoin rises 0.7%, then we're going to be selling a little bit at $95,334. And those sells are where you keep a little bit of extra USDT off the top, which is pretty awesome. And lastly, if you actually want to cash out your bots, you go to more here, and then you go to release profit, and you can do it for all grid trading bots. I'm not going to release it right now, but you can see this is my earnings from just February, and it's only the 24th. And that is basically 80, 130, basically close to $140 I've made this month. and releasable USDT on my bots on Pionex. So I highly recommend Pionex, and I don't just say that because it's sponsored. I actually really do like them, and I've made a decent amount of money off those bots, which is pretty great in times like this where mining is not that great. This is kind of backfilling my passive income that I was getting with mining. So if you want to sign up to Pionex, I'll have a link down below to my Pionex referral link. I believe you get some sort of offer if you join with my link, so definitely check that out, and it helps out the channel as well. I'm going to leave up here on the way out my playlist for all my AI trading bots and my video on how to mine Pi. Check these out, and I'll see you guys next time. As always, thanks for watching.